Well, we're not sure what's going on here, but the Roo has the dog, not the other way around. Max calmly waits for his owner to come and help. The buckaroo sees the odds stacking against him and tries to gut the dog with his claws one last time. His powerful arms anchor the dog by the breastplate as Max doubles his efforts to escape. Finally, the Roo switches his attention to Tonks and sizes up the human to be his next victim. Tonks gives the kangaroo his space, but the cranky buck comes forward, ready to attack. To save himself, he launches a right hand to the kangaroo's snout.
G'day guys and welcome to Aussie English. My objective here is to teach you guys the English spoken down under. So whether you want to speak like a fair income Aussie, or you just want to understand what the flippin' hell we're on about when we're having a yarn, you've come to the right place. So sit back, grab a cuppa and enjoy Aussie English. G'day you mob, how is it going and welcome to this episode of Aussie English. So it's been an interesting week. As you will have seen, I smashed my phone, or at least Leo, the dog, smashed my phone, and you can see that in the He Destroyed My Phone vlog video or podcast episode. You probably saw that, so I had to fork out a bit of money and get that repaired this week, which wasn't amazing. And then also ended up having to get some new shoes. So I had somehow gotten a hole in the back of one of my shoes, and I'd recently bought these shoes, I think over Christmas, and had to go and get some new shoes because these ones were starting to rub the back of my foot. Very uncomfortable. Anyway, so we go to Athlete's Foot, a store in one of the malls here. It's a very common store in Australia, Athlete's Foot. Though it's funny because Athlete's Foot is I think it's tinea, the fungi that you get in your foot. We call that Athlete's Foot as well. So it's always funny that there's a store called Athlete's Foot. Anyway, I go get these new shoes, right? So they test your feet. They get you to stand on this machine. You walk on the machine so that they can see where the pressure is moving through your feet as you walk, so they can give you better shoes, I guess, for your feet. And so we do that. She brings out a few different pairs of shoes. I try them on. I pick the best one, or the best pair rather. And then all of a sudden, when I go to pay for it, it was like $240, guys. $240. Jesus. So a lot of money. Yeah, I'd forgotten just how much proper running shoes in Australia can cost. So nearly $250. So that was a treat, I guess. But you got to take care of your feet, right? If you're doing a lot of walking, or if you're doing a lot of vlogging and podcasting whilst on the move, you need to take care of your feet. Anyway, so that's been my week. I also had my birthday, and thanks for everyone who was wishing me happy birthday after the vlog that came out with Leo, who destroyed my phone. That actually happened on my birthday, so that was interesting. Anyway, the movie scene at the start today, guys, that was audio from a Viral Hog video on YouTube. So this is a YouTube channel that gets these viral videos and licenses them. Definitely recommend that you go and watch this video on Viral Hog's YouTube channel. It is an absolute classic. It is very Australian. So effectively what's happening there is that it's a dangerous situation where a pig dog, a dog that's been trained to hunt pigs, has been grabbed by a powerful male buck kangaroo. And he could be disemboweled by this kangaroo. So kangaroos have these claws on their back legs, they kick, and they can actually kill dogs by disemboweling them, scratching them to death, if you're not careful. So the guy who's the pig dog owner jumps off the car, runs over to try and save the dog. The dog gets away from the kangaroo, and the kangaroo tries to stand up and face this guy like he was going to kick him, and the guy punches the kangaroo in the face. Anyway, it's a pretty funny, strange video. I recommend you go check it out on Viral Hog's YouTube channel. Anyway, guys, this is the Aussie English Podcast, the number one podcast for anyone and everyone learning Australian English. If you've been listening for a while, thanks. It's great to have you back. If it's your first time, welcome. I hope you enjoy this podcast episode. The podcast is brought to you by the Aussie English Classroom, which is the online classroom website that I have to help you learn English even faster. You can sign up there if you want all the bonus content for these episodes, bonus videos, MP3s, PDFs, quizzes, exercises, everything else to really help you study and learn English faster. And aside from that, if you would like to support the podcast, you can do so by donating via my Patreon page, which you can donate as little as $1 a month. You can donate more, totally up to you. Or you can do a one-off donation via PayPal. And all of this money just goes towards helping me bring you more content. And I really, really appreciate everyone who's donated or everyone who's signed up to the Aussie English Classroom so far. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Don't forget also to get the free download for this episode. If you want to study that on your computer, go to the website, follow the link wherever that is where you're listening, and you will be able to get the PDF and the MP3. Anyway, guys, today's Aussie joke. So today's Aussie expression is related to punching. It's related to boxing. And so I thought it was only appropriate to have an Aussie joke, or a joke, just a joke in general, it doesn't have to be Australian, related to boxing, related to punching. So here's the joke. What is a boxer's favorite part of a joke? What is a boxer's favorite part of a joke? The punchline. Did you get it? The punchline. So the punchline is that final line that makes the joke, right? And in this case, the punchline is literally when I said the punchline. What's a boxer's favorite part of a joke? The punchline. So it's a pun, it's a play on words with the word punch, okay? And the punchline packs a bit of a punch for jokes, usually. So today's expression comes from Gilson, who follows me on Instagram, and he sent me a message asking about this expression, and I said, you know what, I'll make this an episode for the podcast this week. So big thanks to Gilson for this awesome suggestion. And remember, guys, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's just Aussie English. Just do a search for that. So let's go through the definitions of the words in today's expression to pack a punch, to pack a punch. So this is pretty simple. We've only really got two things here. To pack. To pack can usually be to fill something, like a suitcase or a bag, with your clothes or other items that you need in order to travel. So before you go on a holiday, you have to pack. You have to pack your things. But in this case, it's more to comprise something, to be made of something. So if something packs something, it's usually that it has that within it, right? So for instance, an explosion packs, or an explosive packs a big explosion. There is a big explosion within, comprised inside of this explosive, and so when it goes off, it packs a big explosion. A punch is the act of hitting someone or striking someone with a closed fist, with a closed hand. So that's usually what a boxer does, right? If a boxer's fighting someone, he's punching them. But in this case, it's more that a punch is the power to impress or attract attention. So it's to have significant impact, to have a lot of impact. It has a lot of punch, right? So that explosive, if it packs a really big explosion, it packs quite a big punch. It has a lot of impact, right? So let's define the expression to pack a punch. So to pack a punch literally is to be capable of striking someone powerfully. You might have a boxer who packs quite a punch. He packs a punch. He's very good at punching. He has a strong, powerful punch. He packs a punch. But then by extension, to be capable of having a powerful or swift effect or impact is the figurative version of this expression, to pack a punch. So that's more like the explosive that we were talking about going off. If it packs a punch, it's not that it literally hits someone, it's that it has a powerful or swift effect or impact, okay? So let's go through 3 examples of how I would use the expression to pack a punch. All right, so first example. Imagine that you are a marketer working for some kind of company. So you market their products. You create ads, okay? Publication, advertisements. That's your job. You want to create an ad that stands out and gets the message across to consumers, people buying your product. So you create this ad and you publish it, and it ends up being perfect. It gets across the message that you're trying to convey, and your boss is very, very happy. He might come into the office after you've created this ad and published it, and he wants to congratulate you, and he might say, that ad is so perfect, it packs a punch. It packs the perfect punch. It's really effective. It has a lot of impact. It's brilliant. It packs a great punch. Example number 2. Imagine you go to a nice restaurant. Maybe you want to have some spicy food. So you go to a Mexican restaurant, maybe you go to a Thai restaurant, and you love spicy food, which is sort of like me. And your friend doesn't. Okay, that could be Kel, my girlfriend. She hates spicy food. So imagine we've both gone to a Mexican or Thai restaurant. We're sitting down, and as a joke, I tell Kel, order the enchiladas here. They're great, and they're not really that spicy. They're fine. You'll be fine. When the food comes, she might eat it and realize that, in fact, the enchilada here is very spicy. And she might say, you liar, it's spicy as, and it really packs a punch. You know that I don't like spicy food, and this enchilada, oh my gosh, the spice in it packs a punch. It's very strong. The impact is significant. Example number 3. Okay, guys. You're a small kid at school, on your first day at school, and you bump into a bigger kid and he bullies you, maybe he pushes you to the ground and you need to defend yourself. You need to fight back against this big kid who's bullying you. And when he tries to punch or kick you, maybe you dodge it and you end up pushing him to the ground. And he realizes, even though you're so much smaller than him, you're incredibly strong. And he might say, for such a scrawny kid, you really can pack a punch. Even though you're so small, you sure can pack a punch. You're incredibly effective. You have a lot of impact. You're strong. And I didn't think that at first. You really pack a punch. All right, guys. So I hope you understand now the expression to pack a punch. Remember, literally, it can be capable of striking someone powerfully, like a boxer. Or figuratively, it can be that you are capable, or something is capable, of having a powerful or swift effect or impact. So let's go through a listen and repeat exercise, guys. We always have this in these episodes to work on your pronunciation, to give you something to practice saying aloud right now, to work on your English pronunciation, so you can copy me if you would like to sound like an Australian. Otherwise, practice whatever English accent you have and just say these words after me, okay? So let's go. Listen and repeat after me, guys. To pack. To packer. To pack a punch. To pack a punch. To pack a punch. To pack a punch. I really pack a punch. You really pack a punch. He really packs a punch. She really packs a punch. We really pack a punch. They really pack a punch. It really packs a punch. Great job, guys. Great job. And remember, if you would like to go into more depth for this pronunciation exercise, as well as all the previous ones, make sure that you enroll in the Aussie English Classroom. Remember, it's just $1 for your first 30 days where you can try it, you can get used to it, you can use as much material in there as you want. The main goal is to upgrade your English as fast as possible, guys. So before we finish up, let's go through the Aussie English fact for today, guys. So today, we had at the very beginning of this episode, we had a kangaroo that was effectively trying to box with a man, and the man ends up punching the kangaroo in the face to try and defend himself and the dogs. So where does this thing come from, right? Why are kangaroos synonymous with boxing? Why is this something that we see quite a lot in Australian culture? So the boxing kangaroo is a national symbol of Australia, and it's used all the time in popular culture. It's often seen as a flag with a yellow kangaroo and red boxing gloves on a green background. And you're likely to see this really distinctive flag featured at sporting events all around Australia as well as overseas. So it'll usually be a symbol that Aussies will use, Aussie spectators, at these sporting events, things like cricket, tennis, basketball or soccer, when they're international sports, when it's Australia versus another country, as opposed to, say, teams that are both from Australia. So things like the Commonwealth Games and the Olympic Games, you'll often see the boxing kangaroo flag. So a little bit about the history of this. The idea of the boxing kangaroo originates from a natural behavior of male kangaroos, who are often referred to as bucks. And FYI, for your information, females are referred to as does, and young kangaroos are called joeys, okay? So kangaroos have really interesting breeding behavior and social structures. Large groups of kangaroos are referred to as mobs, and this is why Aussies often call a large group of people a mob. You might say, hey, you mob. And these mobs can range from a handful of members of these kangaroos up to 100 or more kangaroos. So the mobs can get quite large. Kangaroo bucks box in order to establish dominance, as the most dominant male leads the mob and often has exclusive access to females for mating. So he's the one who gets to father all the joeys, at least theoretically. Given the chance, subordinate males, the ones who aren't dominant, will often mate with receptive females, pulling a fast one on the dominant males who are probably pretty busy mating with the numerous other females in their mob. So it's not always that effective being the dominant male. When boxing, male kangaroos use their smaller forelegs, so their arms, to hold on to the attacker's head and neck, whilst they use the claws on their larger and more powerful hind legs to kick, slash, or even disembowel their opponent while supporting themselves on their thick, muscular tail. So they actually use that tail to support themselves and hold themselves off the ground in order to kick. So the stance resembles that of a boxer when they're doing this, and you can see this on YouTube in this video, right? When they're fighting, they actually look like a human boxer. So if you watch any kangaroo doco, you'll probably see joeys start boxing from a really young age, and they tend to do this in order to develop their fighting skills and give them the best chance at one day being a dominant male, at least for a short period of time, and passing on their genes to the next generation. So what about people boxing kangaroos? Have you guys seen this? This was actually a thing in the past. This used to happen. And it seems like it only took colonists a little over 100 years from when they colonized Australia in 1788 to realize that kangaroos could be trained to box humans, to fight humans, and that this could be used as a source of entertainment for outback travelling shows, and this started occurring in the late 1800s, so in the 19th century. In 1895, a German silent film was actually made about fighting kangaroos, and this was made by Max Skladanowski and was called Das Boxende Känguru. Christine, you'll have to let me know if I have pronounced that correctly in German. And an English silent film by Burt Akers was made the following year. So since these first silent film era movies were made, at least 4 other movies have been made as well about humans boxing kangaroos, and this symbol has only continued to become more prominent since that period of time. During World War II, boxing kangaroos were stenciled onto Australian fighter aircraft and Navy ships, and in 1983, the characteristic green, red and yellow flag that I mentioned earlier was created by a sailing team on the Australia 2 yacht in the America's Cup, and this flag has since skyrocketed into common use by rabid Aussie sporting fans all over the world. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy that episode. I hope that teaches you a bit about biology of kangaroos, a bit about Australian history, a bit about the crazy practice of boxing with kangaroos in the past. That's absolutely insane. And yeah, I hope that you check this episode out in the Aussie English classroom, guys. I think there'll be a lot of awesome bonus content to help you skyrocket your English. Anyway, thanks for hanging around today, guys. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I'll chat to you soon. Peace out, guys. G'day, mate. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Aussie English Podcast. If you wish to support the podcast and help me keep bringing you content, you can do so via my Patreon page. Remember, it's my mission here at Aussie English not only to help you understand Australian English, but to speak it like a native. If that's your goal, make sure you enroll in the Aussie English Classroom, guys, where you'll get all the bonus content for today's episode designed to improve your English even faster. Have a ripper of a day, and I'll see you in class.